Life moves fast, and sometimes it feels like the world is crashing down on you. The stress, the uncertainty, the overwhelming emotions. How do you stay calm when everything seems out of control? Buddhism teaches us a simple truth. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. But in today's chaotic world, staying unaffected by negativity feels nearly impossible. Every day, we battle disappointment, fear, anger, and anxiety. The mind races, emotions take over, and before we know it, we lose ourselves in the storm. Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm no matter what happens? How do monks, philosophers, and spiritual leaders achieve a level of peace so unshakable that nothing can break them? In this video, we'll uncover 10 powerful Buddhist principles that will make you untouchable in the face of life's storms. And if you stay until the end, you'll discover a hidden, game-changing lesson that could shift your entire perspective forever. Number 1. Be still like the ocean depths, not restless like the surface. A storm rages across the ocean, waves crashing, winds howling. But beneath the surface, absolute stillness. The deeper you go, the quieter it gets. Life, too, is like this. The world around you is chaotic. Stress, deadlines, conflicts, expectations. But just like the ocean, you have a choice. Live at the surface, tossed around by every wave, or sink deeper into your own stillness, where nothing can touch you. Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Yet most people do the opposite. They chase peace in relationships, in success, in material things, only to be shattered when those things change. A friend's betrayal, a lost job, a failed dream. Suddenly, their peace vanishes. Why? Because it was never truly theirs. It was borrowed from the outside world, and the outside world is unpredictable. But inner peace, that is yours to cultivate. Imagine this. You're walking through a crowded street, and someone yells at you. Most people would react. Anger, frustration, a defensive response. But what if instead you took a deep breath and asked yourself, is this worth disturbing my peace? The moment you pause, you create space. Space to respond instead of react. You choose peace rather than letting the world dictate your emotions. This is the power of being like the depths of the ocean. No matter what storms rage above, you remain unmoved. Think about it. What external things are controlling your inner peace right now? Is it the fear of someone's opinion? The frustration of unmet expectations? The constant comparison to others? What if, instead of chasing peace outside, you turned inward? Here's how you start. Every morning, before the noise of the world takes over, sit in silence. 5 minutes of deep breathing, no phone, no distractions. Let stillness fill you. Throughout the day, whenever something triggers you, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this reaction worth my peace? And whenever possible, spend time in nature. Watch the trees, listen to the wind, feel the vastness of the sky. Nature is never in a hurry, never in chaos, yet everything gets done. Inner peace is not about avoiding life's storms. It's about realizing that no matter what happens on the surface, you always have the power to remain still within. The ocean does not beg the wind to calm down. It simply exists, deep and unwavering. You too can become like this, grounded, steady, unaffected. But this transformation does not happen overnight. It is a practice, a choice made moment by moment. The next time you find yourself anxious, overwhelmed, or angry, take a step back. Close your eyes. Imagine sinking deeper within yourself, past the noise, past the turmoil. Find that space inside where nothing can touch you. because that is where real peace lives. Not in the world outside, but in the depths of your own being. Everything in life will pass: joy, pain, success, failure. The only thing that remains is your ability to stay centered. And when you master this, you will finally understand. True strength is not about control, but surrender. Not about fighting the storm, but knowing that deep within, the storm cannot touch you. 2. Respond, don't react. A man is walking through the forest when suddenly an arrow strikes him. The pain is sharp, immediate. But instead of tending to his wound, he does something strange. He picks up another arrow and stabs himself again. It sounds absurd, yet this is exactly what we do when we react impulsively to life's hardships. The first arrow is the event itself, an insult, a failure, an unexpected loss. The second arrow is our reaction: anger, blame, self-pity, anxiety. And most of the time, the second arrow hurts more than the first. Buddha once said, "When the arrow of suffering strikes you, do not let a second arrow come from your own mind." Life is full of first arrows, things we cannot control. Someone cuts you off in traffic. A co-worker criticizes you. A loved one disappoints you. But the second arrow? That's optional. That's the storm we create within ourselves. When you react instantly, without awareness, you hand over your peace to the situation. But when you respond with wisdom, you take back control. Imagine throwing a stone into a still lake. The water ripples gently, then returns to calmness. But if the water is already disturbed, the stone creates chaos, sending waves in every direction. Your mind is the same. If it is calm, external events create only small ripples. But if it is restless, every disturbance turns into a storm. The key is to become the still water, to respond, not react. Think about it. How often do you react out of habit? A rude comment triggers instant anger. A minor inconvenience ruins your whole day. Someone disagrees with you, and you feel the need to prove them wrong. These are reactions, not responses. Reactions come from past conditioning, from ego, from fear. But a response? A response is conscious, deliberate, and wise. It comes from clarity, not chaos. So how do you cultivate this clarity? The next time something upsets you, pause, just 3 seconds. Count in your mind 1, 2, 3. In that space, you break the automatic cycle. You give yourself a choice. Do I react emotionally, or do I respond with wisdom? Observe your emotional triggers. What always gets a reaction from you? Is it criticism? Is it feeling ignored? Is it failure? Awareness is the first step to breaking the pattern. Instead of reacting with frustration, try responding with curiosity. Instead of reacting with defensiveness, try responding with understanding. Instead of reacting with panic, try responding with trust. This shift does not happen overnight, but with practice, you begin to master it. And when you do, you will notice something powerful. People no longer control your emotions. Situations no longer dictate your state of mind. You become steady, grounded, untouchable. Because in the end, it is not what happens to you that determines your inner peace. It is how you choose to respond. The world will throw its arrows, but you don't have to pick up a second one. Let others be swept away by the waves of reaction, while you remain the still, deep waters beneath. This is your power. This is your freedom. 3. Accept change. Flow like a river. A river never fights the rocks in its path. It does not resist, does not complain. It simply flows. Over time, even the hardest stone is shaped by the river's persistence. But a rigid tree, no matter how strong, will break in a storm because it refuses to bend. Life, too, is a river, always moving, always changing. Those who resist it suffer, while those who flow with it find peace. Buddha once said, "Nothing is permanent. Everything is subject to change. Being is always becoming." Yet we spend so much of our lives clinging to things as if they will last forever. Relationships, success, youth, health. And when they inevitably change, we suffer. A job loss feels like an identity crisis. A breakup feels like the end of happiness. Aging feels like a betrayal of time. But suffering doesn't come from change itself. It comes from our resistance to it. Imagine a person caught in a strong river. Instead of flowing with the current, they fight against it, exhausting themselves, struggling to stay in place. But the river is not the enemy. It is simply moving forward, as it always has. Life does the same. It changes, it moves, and when we resist, we create our own suffering. But what if, instead of fighting change, we adapted? What if, like the reed in the storm, we bent instead of broke? Think about it. What change are you currently resisting? Maybe it's the loss of a person you once depended on. Maybe it's an unexpected failure or an unwanted shift in your life. The more you resist, the more pain you feel. But the moment you accept it, the weight begins to lift. Resistance is like a clenched fist. It traps pain inside. Acceptance is like an open hand. It releases it. The key to peace is shifting your mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Every change carries a lesson. A lost job could be an opportunity to discover your true calling. A failed relationship could be a lesson in self-love. A difficult season in life could be building your strength for something greater ahead. When you shift from resistance to curiosity, change becomes a teacher instead of an enemy. So how do you practice this? Start by observing your thoughts. When you feel frustrated by change, pause. Ask yourself, am I resisting or am I flowing? Next, change your perspective. View setbacks not as failures, but as redirections. Trust that what is meant for you will find you, and what is leaving is making space for something new. Finally, meditate on impermanence. Look at the world around you. Flowers bloom and wither, the sun rises and sets, seasons come and go. Nothing lasts forever, and that is what makes life beautiful. Appreciate what you have while you have it, but when it's time to let go with grace. Because in the end, peace is not found in holding on. It is found in letting go. Like the river, you are meant to move forward. Like the reed, you are meant to bend, not break. The more you embrace change, the less it will control you. And when you finally learn to flow, nothing, not loss, not failure, not time, will ever disturb your inner peace. 4. Detach from the opinions of others. A lion does not seek approval from the sheep. It does not ask for permission to roar, nor does it shrink when others disapprove. It simply exists in its power, unaffected. But most people do not live like lions. They live like sheep, constantly looking around, wondering what others think, shaping their lives to fit expectations. And in doing so, they become prisoners of opinions that were never theirs to begin with. Lao Tzu once said, "Care about people's approval, and you will always be their prisoner." From the time we are young, we are conditioned to seek approval. A child is praised for being well-behaved. A student is rewarded for fitting into a system. An adult is valued by how much they conform to societal norms. And so, we begin to measure ourselves not by our own standards, but by the reactions of others. If we are praised, we feel worthy. If we are criticized, we feel small. But this is an illusion. True self-worth does not come from outside. It comes from within. Imagine a man walking through a marketplace with a donkey. A stranger scoffs, "Foolish man, why aren't you riding it?" So he climbs onto the donkey. Another passerby sneers, "Cruel man, how can you make the donkey carry you?" So he dismounts. Then someone else laughs. "What an idiot, both he and the donkey are walking. No matter what he does, someone disapproves." This is life. No matter how you live, someone will have an opinion. If you spend your life trying to please everyone, you will end up pleasing no one, including yourself. Ask yourself, are you living for yourself or for the approval of others? How many of your decisions are based on fear of judgment? The way you dress, the job you choose, the way you speak. Are they truly yours, or are they shaped by what you think others expect? What if, for one moment, you let go of that fear? What would change? When you detach from the opinions of others, you set yourself free. This does not mean being arrogant or ignoring feedback. It means understanding that external validation does not define your worth. Criticism and praise are two sides of the same coin. If you let one control you, the other will too. The person who craves applause will also crumble under rejection. The one who chases approval will also fear criticism. The only way to be at peace is to let go of both. So how do you practice this detachment? First, when someone criticizes you, ask yourself, is this about me or is it about their perception? Often people project their own fears, insecurities, and biases onto others. Their words say more about them than about you. Second, detach from both praise and criticism. If someone admires you, accept it with humility, but do not let it define you. If someone disapproves, listen if there is wisdom in their words, but do not let it shake your foundation. Stay centered. Third, align your actions with your own values, not external expectations. Define your own success. Live by your own truth. Because in the end, peace comes from self-acceptance. When you are rooted in who you are, nothing can pull you away. Be like the lion, walk your path, speak your truth, and never let the opinions of sheep silence your roar. 5. Don't personalize anything. It's never about you. A man walks through the village when suddenly someone shouts an insult at him. He pauses for a moment, smiles, and keeps walking. A bystander asks, "Why didn't you react?" The man replies, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to take it, to whom does it belong?" Just like an unwanted gift, negativity, criticism, and insults only affect you if you accept them. If you don't take them personally, they lose their power. Buddha taught that he who angers you controls you. Yet we live in a world where people are quick to take offense. A stranger's rude comment, a friend's harsh words, a co-worker's criticism, each feels like a personal attack. But here's the truth, it's never about you. People's actions and words are shaped by their own emotions, experiences, and struggles. A person full of kindness speaks with kindness. A person full of anger lashes out at the world. Their negativity is a reflection of their inner world, not yours. But the moment you take it personally, you make it about you. You internalize their emotions, and suddenly you're carrying pain that was never yours to begin with. Imagine someone throwing a burning coal at you. If you catch it, you get burned. But if you let it fall, it harms no one. The same applies to negativity. When someone criticizes you, you have a choice. Will you catch the burning coal and let it hurt you? Or will you let it go? This is not about ignoring feedback or never listening to others. It's about understanding the difference between constructive guidance and emotional projection. A wise person listens to wisdom, but never absorbs someone else's poison. How often do you let others dictate your emotions? Maybe a harsh comment ruins your entire day. Maybe one disagreement makes you feel small. But what would happen if you stopped reacting and just observed? What if, instead of getting defensive, you paused and asked, "Is this truly about me, or is this about them?" When you see things from this perspective, nothing can shake your inner peace. This is not easy, but it is powerful. It starts with awareness. When someone's words trigger you, take a breath and remind yourself, this is their perception, not my reality. Detach emotionally. What others think does not define you. If you need validation to feel worthy, you will always be controlled by opinions outside of you. Real freedom is not needing anyone's approval or fearing their disapproval. But here's the most important step. Respond with compassion. Most people who hurt others are carrying their own wounds. A person at peace does not lash out. A happy person does not try to bring others down. So when someone is cruel, see it for what it is, their suffering, not yours. Instead of reacting with anger, respond with understanding. Instead of feeding their negativity, starve it with silence or kindness. You are not responsible for their pain, but you are responsible for your peace. In the end, life becomes lighter when you stop taking things personally. People will have opinions. Some will love you. Some will misunderstand you. Some will criticize you no matter what you do. But none of that changes who you are. When you no longer take things personally, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. And when you stop reacting, nothing, no insult, no criticism, no negativity can ever disturb your inner peace. 6. Recognize that every emotion is temporary. A man sits by a river, watching the water rush past. He picks up a leaf, drops it in, and watches as it drifts away. Everything flows, he whispers to himself. The river never holds onto anything. Not a single drop of water remains in the same place forever. Neither do emotions. Yet, when sadness arrives, we cling to it. When anger rises, we let it consume us. But what if we treated emotions like the river, allowing them to come, but never holding on? This too shall pass. These 4 words carry deep wisdom. Joy, sorrow, excitement, fear. Everything in life is temporary. The problem is, we forget this. When we feel happy, we wish to hold on to it forever. When we feel pain, we believe it will never end. But emotions, like clouds in the sky, are always moving. The key to peace is learning to observe them without attachment. Think about the last time you felt deep sadness. In that moment, it felt heavy, endless. But where is that sadness now? It faded just as every emotion before it. And yet, when new pain arises, we make the same mistake, believing it will last. But no storm lasts forever. No night is without dawn. The only thing constant is change. When you truly understand this, suffering loses its grip on you. Imagine you are sitting in meditation. A thought arises, maybe a regret, maybe a worry. Instead of reacting, you simply notice it. You don't push it away, but you also don't grab onto it. You become the observer, not the prisoner. This is the secret to emotional freedom. The moment you stop saying, "I am angry," and instead say, "I feel anger passing through me," you create space between yourself and the emotion. You are no longer the emotion. You are simply aware of it. And what you observe, you control. What emotions are you holding on to right now, believing they define you? Maybe it's heartbreak. Maybe it's frustration. Maybe it's fear of the future. But what if, instead of resisting, you let it flow? What if, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," you said, This is temporary, it will pass. What if, instead of running from pain, you sat with it, knowing that it too will fade like everything else? Buddha taught that suffering comes not from pain itself, but from our attachment to it. The tighter we grip, the deeper we suffer. But the moment we loosen our hold, we find peace. Next time a difficult emotion arises, don't suppress it. Don't fight it. Don't identify with it. Just observe, breathe, label it, watch it dissolve. The storm may rage, but it will not last. And when it passes, you will remain calm, centered, and free. 7. Practice the power of non-resistance. A man stands in a river, fighting against the current. The more he pushes, the more the water pushes back. Exhausted, he finally stops resisting, and something incredible happens. Instead of struggling, he lets go. The river carries him effortlessly. This is the power of non-resistance. How often do we fight reality, believing things should be different? This isn't fair. This shouldn't be happening to me. Why can't things just go my way? But reality does not change just because we resist it. In fact, resistance only deepens our suffering. A river does not break against a rock. It flows around it. The more we fight, the more life fights back. But the moment we surrender, peace takes its place. Think about a time when you held on to frustration. Maybe traffic made you late, maybe someone disappointed you, maybe life didn't go as planned. Your mind resisted. This shouldn't be happening. But did that resistance help, or did it only increase your stress? Now imagine if, instead of resisting, you simply accepted. You took a deep breath and said, "This is what it is. Now how do I move forward?" No fight, no struggle, just flow. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. These words from Eckhart Tolle hold the secret to inner peace. Life is not about controlling everything. It's about adapting. Resistance creates pain. Acceptance creates freedom. This does not mean becoming passive. It means choosing how to respond instead of reacting with frustration. Imagine a tree in a storm. A rigid tree will snap, but a flexible tree bends and survives. Which one are you? Do you resist, demanding life go your way? Or do you accept, adapting with grace? The moment you stop resisting, you gain clarity. Your energy is no longer wasted on fighting what you cannot change. Instead, you use it to navigate wisely. What in your life are you currently resisting? Maybe it's a person you wish would change. Maybe it's a painful past you keep revisiting. Maybe it's fear of the future. But what if, instead of resisting, you embraced it? What if you stopped saying, "This shouldn't be happening," and instead asked, "How can I best respond?" The moment you do, your suffering dissolves. Buddha taught that suffering is not in the event itself. It is in our resistance to it. When we argue with life, we lose. But when we accept reality and choose how to respond, we win. Next time something doesn't go your way, don't resist. Breathe. Relax your body, then your mind. Ask yourself, what's the best response here? Adapt, flow, and watch how peace follows. 8. Stop seeking happiness in the future. A man spends his whole life chasing happiness. I'll be happy when I graduate. Then, I'll be happy when I get a good job. Then, I'll be happy when I find the right partner. Yet every time he reaches his goal, happiness slips just beyond his grasp, replaced by a new desire. Like a dog chasing its tail, he never catches it. How often do we do the same? We believe happiness lies somewhere in the future. I'll be happy when I have more money. I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I achieve my dream. But the future is an illusion. It never truly arrives. And so, we spend our entire lives waiting, never realizing that happiness was only ever available in one place, right here, right now. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. These words from Buddha shatter one of the greatest illusions of life, the belief that joy is something to be attained. Happiness is not a destination, it's a way of traveling. The problem isn't that we want good things, it's that we attach our inner peace to them. We say, I can't be happy until I get this. And in doing so, we chain ourselves to dissatisfaction. Even when we do achieve what we desire, the joy is fleeting. We quickly move on to the next goal, the next craving, the next I'll be happy when. Imagine a traveler walking through a breathtaking forest, but instead of appreciating the towering trees, the fresh air, or the birdsong, he is fixated only on reaching the end of the path. He rushes, ignoring everything around him. This is how most people live, so obsessed with getting somewhere that they forget to live. But what if he slowed down? What if he noticed the beauty surrounding him? Suddenly, the journey itself becomes the joy. Are you postponing happiness for a future that may never come? How often do you overlook the small moments of beauty in your daily life? The warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of a loved one, the simple joy of a deep breath. These moments are happiness. They are already here. You don't need to wait. So, how do we stop seeking happiness in the future and embrace it now? First, practice gratitude. Every day, write down 3 small things you appreciate. Not just big accomplishments, but simple joys, fresh coffee in the morning, a kind word from a friend, the feeling of the wind against your skin. Second, stop thinking of life as a series of milestones. Instead of saying, I'll be happy when, start saying, I am grateful now. Finally, slow down. The next time you find yourself rushing through life, pause, breathe, take in the moment, because this moment, right now, is life. And if you can't find happiness here, you won't find it anywhere. 9. The more you chase, the more it runs away. A man runs through a field, desperately chasing a butterfly. Every time he reaches out, it flutters just beyond his grasp. He moves faster, lunging, swiping, but the harder he tries, the further it flies. Frustrated, he collapses into the grass, exhausted. And then, something remarkable happens. As soon as he stops chasing, the butterfly comes to him, landing gently on his shoulder. This is life. The more we chase, the more things elude us. Love, success, happiness. When pursued with desperation, they slip through our fingers like sand. But when we focus on ourselves, on our inner peace, on simply being instead of grasping, these things naturally come to us. How often do we chase things out of fear? Fear of being alone, fear of failure, fear of being left behind. We chase relationships, trying to force people to stay. We chase success, believing that if we don't achieve more, we are not enough. But the more we grasp, the more we push things away. Neediness repels. Desperation creates resistance. The things we truly desire, love, respect, success, are drawn to confidence, to self-sufficiency, to inner peace. A river does not chase the ocean. It flows naturally toward it. Likewise, what is meant for you will come when you stop chasing and start flowing. Buddha taught, do not chase after the world. Let it come to you. This is not about being passive. It's about trusting that life has its own rhythm, its own timing. The right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences. They arrive when you are ready, not when you are desperate. So, Ask yourself, what are you chasing that is running away from you? Are you clinging to a relationship that is slipping through your fingers? Are you forcing success instead of allowing it to unfold naturally? How would your life change if you let things flow instead of forcing them? The first step is to shift your focus from chasing to attracting. Instead of seeking validation, build self-worth from within. Instead of forcing relationships, cultivate self-love and watch the right people naturally enter your life. Second, practice detachment. If something is meant for you, it will stay. If it is not, no amount of chasing will make it yours. Let go and trust that what is truly meant for you cannot be lost. Finally, trust the timing of life. Impatience creates stress. Forcing things creates suffering. Instead of asking, "When will this happen?" ask, "How can I grow while I wait?" When you stop chasing, life starts unfolding in the most unexpected and beautiful ways. The butterfly comes to the one who sits still. Trust that what's meant for you will find its way, without the need for force, fear, or desperation. Let go and let life flow. 10. Be grateful for everything, even the challenges. Life rarely unfolds the way we expect. Some days bring sunshine, while others bring storms. But what if you could maintain your inner peace regardless of what happens? What if you could face life's challenges without being shaken? The secret lies in gratitude, not just for the good, but for everything, even the struggles. True resilience is built not by avoiding difficulties, but by embracing them as opportunities to grow. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal must endure intense heat and hammering before it becomes strong and sharp. Your struggles are that fire, shaping you into a stronger version of yourself. Most people resist hardship. They complain when things don't go their way, seeing obstacles as punishments rather than lessons. But Buddhism teaches us that suffering is not an enemy. It is a teacher. Every challenge holds wisdom if you're willing to see it. Think about a time in your life when something didn't go as planned. Maybe you lost a job, a relationship ended, or a dream slipped away. At the time, it felt like failure. But looking back, wasn't there a lesson hidden in that pain? Maybe it forced you to grow in ways you wouldn't have otherwise. Maybe it led you to a better opportunity or a deeper understanding of yourself. Most people spend their lives wishing things were different. They resist what is, thinking, "This shouldn't be happening to me." But resistance creates suffering. Acceptance, on the other hand, brings peace. When you start viewing obstacles as stepping stones instead of barriers, your whole perspective shifts. The storm stops being something to fear and instead becomes something to navigate with wisdom. Ask yourself, what if this challenge is not here to break me, but to build me? What if, instead of asking, "Why me?" you asked, "What can I learn?" Gratitude is not just about being thankful for what is easy or pleasant. It's about appreciating the full spectrum of life. The losses that taught you resilience, the failures that pushed you to improve, the moments of loneliness that helped you connect with yourself. When you shift your mindset to see difficulties as part of the path, nothing can shake your inner peace. Imagine waking up each day and instead of dreading challenges, you welcome them. Instead of fearing failure, you embrace it. This is the power of gratitude. It transforms every situation into an opportunity. So how can you practice this in daily life? First, at the end of each day, reflect on one challenge you faced and ask, "What did this teach me?" Write it down. Over time, you'll start seeing patterns of growth where you once saw struggles. Second, whenever you feel overwhelmed by hardship, pause and ask, What is life trying to show me through this? Shifting your mindset from resistance to curiosity will help you stay calm and open. And finally, cultivate gratitude even in difficult moments. When something doesn't go your way, instead of reacting with frustration, try saying, "Thank you for this lesson." It may feel strange at first, but over time, it rewires your brain to see life differently. This is how you become unshakable, not by avoiding difficulty, but by embracing it with wisdom, not by wishing for an easy life, but by becoming stronger through every experience. Challenges will come, that's certain. But whether they break you or build you depends on your perspective. Let life shape you. Welcome every experience, and nothing will ever disturb your inner peace again. Bonus lessons: serve others, but don't lose yourself. There is a delicate balance between giving and losing yourself. Many people believe that to be kind, to be a good person, they must constantly sacrifice their own needs for others. They stretch themselves thin, saying yes when they want to say no, giving when they have nothing left, all in the name of being compassionate. But what happens when you give so much that there's nothing left of you? What happens when kindness becomes exhaustion, when generosity turns into self-neglect? Imagine a candle lighting another candle. It loses nothing in the process. It shares its flame without diminishing itself. This is how true giving should be. You can offer light to others, but if you burn yourself out in the process, you will have nothing left to give. There is wisdom in serving others, but there is also wisdom in knowing your limits. Buddha taught that kindness should be like a river, flowing, abundant, and nourishing. But even a river must have banks, boundaries that keep it from overflowing and losing itself. Many people feel guilty for setting boundaries, fearing they are being selfish. But self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. If you do not take care of yourself, your energy, your peace, then how can you truly help others? You are not helping if your giving comes from a place of depletion, resentment, or obligation. True service comes from a place of abundance, from a heart so full that it overflows naturally. Think about your own life. How often do you say yes when you want to say no? How many times have you taken on responsibilities that were never yours to carry? Have you ever felt guilty for resting, as if your worth is measured by how much you do for others? This mindset keeps you trapped in a cycle of exhaustion. You are not meant to be everything for everyone. There is a difference between kindness and self-sacrifice. You can love others without losing yourself. You can be there for people without abandoning your own needs. And when you do, you will find that your acts of kindness carry more meaning, more sincerity, because they come from a place of genuine willingness rather than burnout. So, how do you give without losing yourself? First, set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are gates that allow kindness to flow in both directions. Helping someone does not mean saying yes to everything. Learn to say no when necessary, not with guilt, but with confidence. Second, give without expectation. If your kindness comes with the hope of receiving something in return, whether it's validation, approval, or love, it is not true giving. Give because you want to, not because you feel obligated to. Third, remember that your well-being is just as important as anyone else's. If you neglect yourself, you are teaching others that it is acceptable to neglect you too. Honor your needs, your rest, your energy. To uplift others, you must first stand strong yourself. A burned-out candle cannot light another. A dried-up river cannot nourish life. The most compassionate thing you can do is to take care of yourself so that your giving is pure, joyful, and sustainable. This is how you maintain your inner peace while still being a force of kindness in the world. Serve others, but never forget to serve yourself as well. In this balance, you will find true harmony, where kindness flows, yet your light never dims. Quick summary of the principles. Detach from external chaos. True peace comes from within, not from controlling the outside world. Let go of attachments to opinions, news, and distractions to remain unshaken by life's turbulence. Accept impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Pain, joy, success, and failure are all temporary. When you embrace this truth, you stop fearing change and start living fully. Detach from praise and criticism. People's opinions are fleeting and often reflect their own inner struggles. Find self-worth within rather than seeking validation from others. Embrace solitude to discover yourself. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's a path to self-awareness. Step away from constant noise to reflect, grow, and connect with your inner self. Stay present. The now is all you have. Regretting the past and worrying about the future steal the only moment that truly exists, the present. Train your mind to be here now. Cultivate inner silence. Amid external noise, in a world full of distractions, the ability to be still and silent brings clarity, wisdom, and deep inner peace. Don't personalize anything. It's never about you. People's actions and words are a reflection of their own inner world, not yours. By not taking things personally, you free yourself from unnecessary pain. Recognize that every emotion is temporary. Feelings, like waves, rise and fall. Instead of getting attached to them, observe and let them pass naturally without resistance. Practice the power of non-resistance. The more you fight reality, the more you suffer. Accept things as they are and adapt rather than resisting what you cannot change. Stop seeking happiness in the future. Happiness is not a destination, it's a way of living. Find joy in the present moment rather than chasing it in an uncertain future. The more you chase, the more it runs away. Desperation pushes people, success, and peace further away. Focus on self-growth, and the right things will come to you naturally. Be grateful for everything, even the challenges. Every hardship carries a lesson. By shifting your mindset from complaint to gratitude, you turn obstacles into opportunities for growth. Serve others, but don't lose yourself. True fulfillment comes from helping others, but never at the cost of your own peace. Set boundaries and maintain balance between giving and self-care. Remember this: to the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. In the rush of modern life, we often seek stability in things that are constantly changing: relationships, material success, and external approval. Yet, true strength lies not in controlling life, but in learning to flow with it. When you detach from the need to control, you discover a deeper, unshakable peace within. The world may shift around you, but you remain still, like the eye of a storm. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises when we resist life's natural rhythm. The mind clings to desires, expectations, and fears, creating an illusion of permanence. But the moment we embrace impermanence, we free ourselves. Pain becomes a teacher, loss a lesson, and every experience, whether joyful or painful, becomes an opportunity for growth. To live unaffected by life does not mean to feel nothing, but rather to feel deeply without being controlled by emotions. Anger, sadness, and worry may come, but they do not define you. Instead of reacting impulsively, you observe. Instead of holding on, you let go. Through mindfulness and self-awareness, you cultivate an inner peace that cannot be shaken by external events. The greatest freedom is the ability to remain untouched by chaos, to be calm in the middle of noise, to be peaceful in the middle of conflict, and to be content in the middle of uncertainty. When you master your inner world, the outer world loses its power over you. This is the path of true liberation. Which of these principles speaks to you the most? Let us know in the comments. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more life-changing Buddhist insights. Pookal மற்றும் வணக்கம்.